You just canceled it.
Oh,
there you go. Make it large.
I'll try. Go through.
Okay, and turn the pause. Okay, it's 2:00. December the 16th. This is our final board meeting for the 2022 year. So, roll call.
Somebody just came in.
Oh, hi. So you don't have to sit in the middle. You can call the person that's over here if you wish.
Okay, let me get over here. She's all tell you who went.
Okay. Mary Fleener here. Harold Nixon is not here.
There's a note over on his desk for you.
Okay. Oh, there's Gary. Okay, Gary's signing in now. Rose Kopenek's here. Lydia Rist here. Debbie Kreider here. Mark Kreider here. Maureen Rand. Means yes. Fran Romatella
Here.
and Gary Stilicorn is here. We also have Mary Burns
Here.
Kinga Cook here. Tony Flores is going to be late. Mark Kreider. Okay, we've got everybody here then. Very good.
Gary, do you hear us?
Can you hear us, Gary? I guess not. Okay, hold on a second. In the audio settings.
He's unmuted, so
No, but go to the audio settings. They'll be they'll be still in there. Okay. And speaker. Same as this.
Gary, can you hear us?
He can't hear us.
Back to the new thing over there and
Right,
the audio settings themselves.
up in there. Go to the audio settings. Click one up
Audio
right
stuff,
there.
Yeah,
And
I mean, the microphone seems to be working.
okay, test the speaker.
So is the just the speaker.
Well, we can hear it. Hold on. Go over there with UK TV down on that and say same as system. Now test it. Yes.
I mean, speaker's not the issue though.
Right. And the
Okay.
microphone isn't working, so.
Yeah.
I think it must
Go
be on
to
Gary's.
the microphone. Let's test the microphone.
Settings again?
Yeah.
Or test speaker and. No, that was on.
Okay,
Oh,
that's-
wait.
Hopefully his audio.
Try another microphone.
No, it came out with that. Speakers.
That says headphone. You just turn your headphone on. Do it down.
Same as.
So yes or no?
I can hear you now. You hear me?
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, now we hear you.
Okay, that's good.
You hear us?
Loud and clear.
Wonderful.
Okay, great.
Something happened.
Okay. And we have several guests. Do we need to list the guests on
I've
here
got them
also?
on there.
Okay, very good. Okay, let's have the secretary's report then, please.
Okay, the meeting on November 18th was a little lengthy. And so I asked if there are any additions, corrections.
And Lydia has her hand up.
Lydia,
On page 2 of 4.
It says down at the very bottom paragraph, we talk about the bylaws 8.2.
Mhm.
It shows nothing about the discussion that followed. And the fact that even Gary Skilcorn said 2 votes would be the new position.
We did have,
There's nothing,
We did not agree to
we
that.
did
did you
have,
bring me? It's on,
excuse me, we did have a lengthy discussion. There was not a decision made related to that. It is according to the nominating committee to make that decision. So please, let's wait until we get to the nominating committee's
Okay.
report until we discuss
okay,
that.
but I do not agree with the minutes, the way they were written in that section B, C. I'd like that to go on record.
Any other additions, corrections?
I just had a couple of editorial comments that I've already given to you.
I didn't write them down. You want to
Okay,
verbalize them for
six-
everybody?
6C, it says, it seems difficult comes without equipment. It's from equipment. Change without to from. Let's see.
What
Third
one?
line, middle of third line. Change
Different
without
ones.
to from. And then 9E. Says gift card not needed.
What you did. Okay. Anyone else? Okay, I need a motion.
Need a motion to approve, please,
So motion.
with the corrections. Second, who seconded?
have to
be with people that.
were
It's
there.
got to be
Current
current
board.
board meeting,
Mhm.
members, please.
I'll second.
Well,
We
have to-
first
Oh,
need
sorry,
a
I wasn't
motion.
That was it.
How about doing the motion?
First one.
Motion that we accept the minutes from the last meeting as corrected.
Okay, and second? You can't do it either. You are next.
I actually, when I was.
You
No,
can
no,
only
you
do
are
one.
on this board.
I
You
am
are
on
on this board.
Yes,
You are-
yes,
Just attend the meeting, so.
that's okay. You're on the current board.
No, that's the point. You're
Okay.
not
He wasn't
supposed
here.
to approve minutes if you weren't at that meeting.
Yes. Okay. Oh my goodness.
So no, where are we? Somebody has to make the
Yeah, would
motion.
you please make the motion? To approve with correction.
I make a motion that we approve the minutes as
With
corrected.
corrections.
Okay, do we have a second, please?
Second.
Thank you.
Thank you, Gary.
Okay,
Second.
all in favor. Current board members, please.
Current board members, yes or no? Yes, I mean. Who do I have to then? I gotta find where the current ones are. Fran, yes or no?
No.
Yeah, but
Okay.
Wait, we
We have.
I need a
1, 2,
number.
3, 4, 5.
Or
Oh, no,
we can't figure it out.
they're abstaining because they weren't here. So we've had 5
So
to
we have-
2
2 abstain,
and 2 no's.
2 no's. And 5 yes. Okay. All right, okay, here.
Okay.
That's probably the hardest part of this meeting. It is like-
So far, so far. Okay,
Treasurer's report. Oh, no, president's report.
okay, again, I want to say thank you very much to everyone who has worked on this board for this year. I think you've done an outstanding job. Thank you very much. And I want to welcome next year's board, and I think that we're going to have a wonderful year. So thank you very much. This is a meeting of the 2022 Board of Business for 2022, just an introduction to 2023. We have a couple of things in the very end that we will be talking about for next year, but everything related to this meeting will be as of this year. And I had one more comment, but I can't remember what it was, so I'm going to now ask for the treasury report, Lydia.
I sent the treasurer's report, I think it was 6 pages, to all of the current directors for the 2022 board. As you can see, our income was 1,688.70 and our expenses 1,687.96. We're still ahead by a few pennies. And all the expenses were listed, all the checks that were cashed were included with the bank statement. Are there any questions?
The insurance is, that's an annual payment, right? The 1150.
Annual, yes.
What's that, the liability insurance for this place? That's for the van.
The general policy we have for the computer group.
Okay, do we have a motion to accept? Do we have any discussion? No comments?
I'll move it.
We have a second?
Second.
Okay. I guess Mark? Okay. And then vote. All in favor? Aye. Any no's? Okay. Everyone said yes. Okay, director's report, Sunshine, Marine.
Okay, I sent quite a few cards out in the month of November. The checks into the college and the best of all.
Can you speak up just a little bit, please? Can you speak up just a little bit,
yeah.
please?
If I can, yes, I will try. I sent several cards out, 2 sympathy cards, the rest were all get well cards. The most recent one was Ronald G. Frey. I sent a sympathy card, and the other sympathy card that I sent was Tibet in November, and the rest were all get well cards.
That was a sympathy card in addition to a get well card?
I believe, yes. I had sympathy written down here, and that was a while ago. I'm sorry. I'll get rid of this one.
Yeah.
Did Linda Court get a card sent?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear that.
Say it again.
Did Linda Court get a card sent to her?
Yes, I'm sent one to her.
Could you please give those names to Rose for the
Yes.
for the minutes, please?
Correct spelling.
Yeah, you don't have to name them now. You can just give them to her after the meeting. Okay, Harold is not here for the membership report. Do we have anyone who has a membership report available from
I
him?
can't read what that says.
Hand me that note. Thank you. Okay. He's out.
That isn't there.
He doesn't have any, he doesn't have a. No, he doesn't have he doesn't have any stats here for me, so, okay, so no report. Gary,
He's here.
Oh, I'm sorry.
He's here. Yeah.
Look behind me. I'm sorry.
Okay.
You're
Yeah.
just staring at me.
Well, the programs for January and February, we're just going to slip the ones that we've missed. So January will be the redo of the that was the one with the mind sensor that could display and print memory, a brain type thing. I think you probably have the description of that we wrote up a couple months ago when it was first written. That'll be January. And then February, I haven't confirmed yet because we've sort of slipped this one 3 or 4 months now. And that's with the Genealogical Society individual in utilizing computer memory or how to best store ancestry data. And again, I think that was written up previously as well too. After that, I don't know where we go, but we'll get something for following months.
Well, it sounds like we've got a good couple of items for the first of the year, so I think everybody will enjoy those.
Yeah.
Okay,
That's all I have.
okay, publicity, marketing, Debbie.
You know, in November, I communicated out the annual meeting and, that's about all the PR I did. I did want to share that I'm glad that he's taking over that position doing marketing.
We're going to have to,
Don't know.
we don't know yet. I don't have the assignment yet.
Okay, I brought the book back and I'm glad to go over it with
Okay,
whoever. And I wanted to share in October, I participated in the Gulf Coast Board Institute. It's a 4-day training, usually on Fridays, and they offer a couple of times a year, Gulf Coast Community Foundation. And they cover governance, finances, fundraising, friend raising, strategic planning, succession planning. And it's all free. And so I was given, this is like the book that we went through those 4 days. And then they give you this to take with you.
Wow.
And I really strongly suggest that at least 2 or 3 people take that training.
Mhm.
It's in Sarasota, but it's really solid information about board management.
how many days or weeks is it?
It's 4 Fridays usually.
Okay,
and
all
they-
day Fridays?
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay,
And when is
yeah,
it? Do you
please
know?
pass on that information. I'd be interested in doing that this next year.
Okay, and if, do you want to,
Sure, go ahead.
You're welcome.
Leave that for me and I will review it and I'll get it back to you. Thank you.
and then I also have the information about out front, working out front. I didn't know who was going to be doing that
You're talking about out front
in monthly meetings.
in monthly
Oh,
meetings.
the
Okay, yes,
raffle area.
right.
Yeah.
So that'll be an assignment we'll be doing for the next year also. So yeah, please leave that.
Probably that.
And I,
That would be too. The only other thing, I guess, in this year, I just love this organization so much. And I just feel like the mission is so important. From working in not-for-profits all my life, I really see signs that really worry me, where we've lost so many members. And we're not having volunteers come in and participate. And so I guess I'm suggesting that soon there be strategic plan meeting, and that we kind of really look at where we have some cracks so they don't get bigger. And I'm glad to lead that.
I would love that.
I've done that many times.
I would love that, especially since you have just completed this. I think that would be wonderful. Would you set up a date and time or
So
a couple of
separate
possibilities?
from the board meeting.
Yes, separate from the board
Okay.
meeting, set up a separate date and time, and we'll coordinate, we'll have 1 or 2 or 5 sessions, however we need to do it. But I think that's an excellent idea, and we can do it maybe after the office closes from 2 to 4 in the afternoon for a few sessions. Okay, wonderful, great idea. Yes,
I Would you consider making this like another committee?
I think that was,
So that
okay,
there's a
okay,
report.
why don't we do this right now? Okay, we're going to have a strategic planning committee. And it's going to be chaired by Debbie Kreider.
Rose, did you just get me on 2 meetings?
Absolutely, absolutely.
I did.
Well, I really appreciate it. I think it would be so helpful. to
I think it
have
would
a
be-
direction
yes,
and
I
What do
agree,
we really need to focus on so we continue really strong?
I agree.
And if it's listed as a committee, then it's on the agenda and you can make a report and find out where things are at and yeah. Okay,
Okay, great. Thank you for volunteering,
That wasn't my
for being
intent,
pulled
but-
in again.
That one meeting, one and done. So
Yeah.
it's good. I think that's a great idea. that
Okay.
You both have.
Super,
Thank
thank
you.
you very much. Yeah, thank you for bringing that to our attention and for being a volunteer recruit. Okay, do you have anything else to add? She doesn't want another job. Okay,
oh, question.
yes,
Did you two ever meet with the technology, with the
oh, we did.
technical
You want
school?
to give that?
Well, we did
report?
months ago, and I thought we kind of reported on, anyhow, they seemed very interested, and then between the hurricane or whatever, we haven't been able to meet with them again, and now the holidays, but I will follow up and see if we can get back there. And
Yeah, we had originally had
It was
another,
tabled
right, we originally had a plan that we were going to meet again
in
in this last month. But because of Ian, that got, actually, we were going to meet in November, that could push to December, and now, we're just, we need to get back with them to determine when they're available to meet with us, because they're in, disarray also.
Okay.
Okay. We have the county liaison meetings. Grover, can you please report?
I'm sorry.
County liaison meetings?
No. There's nothing new on the cultural center itself. It's stagnated to me. Now, I was asked to find out about the FEMA office at the cultural center. It is not in the cultural center, is it in a temporary structure outside? From what I have been told so far, anybody that's having FEMA problems on their filings, a lot of it is the way FEMA put it on the internet. And they didn't answer all the questions that needed to be answered for what, okay, I'll give it the idea. It said flood, water damage. Well, Rover took it, damage from a flood. Well, that is not it. It's flood, and it didn't say our water damage, it just said water damage. So when I went up, the other lady said, well, you say you got stains in your, yeah, and went on. So they're suggesting that anybody that hasn't had any luck with the what they
Insurance.
set in, to go to the FEMA office and reapply.
Okay. And there is a physical office outside in the tent on the property of the cultural center.
And Twin Gully's got an office.
And there's another one up in Inglewood. Is that the
Twin Gully's, Twin
Okay.
Gully Center. It's actually right on 776.
Very good. Anything else? Gary, do you have anything to report from the city?
Uh, Nothing that you're really looking at, but I was at the Cultural Center FEMA site a few days ago. It is a tent, a large tent, a structure, air-conditioned structure, almost a building that in the main parking lot, you can't miss it. Multiple assistants are there to discuss with you, take your files and so forth. So I'm not sure if you needed confirmation on that, but had the experience last week with that.
Okay, where is that located?
Well, it's what I would call the front door to the cultural center
Okay,
with the archway. It's in the parking lot there. You can't miss it. It's the
Right.
size of a house.
It's on Gertrude.
Right. Okay. Okay, we are now down to the nominating committee, so Bob.
You all have the results of the election.
Yes, we do.
The nominating committee based the findings on the candidate, the writing candidate for secretary, based on the fact that we determined that 50% of the votes plus one of the votes cast at the meeting were required to be elected. There were 60 votes cast at the meeting, which we determined would make it 31 votes required for the write-in. Ron received 25 votes. That's why we did not name a person as secretary.
Mark raised his.
I just have a question about that. As far as the majority voting, my understanding is that it's not necessarily the number of people who show up. It is actually the cast votes as far as the majority goes.
That's what's,
And that's why,
can I reply
go
to?
ahead.
There was 60 votes cast.
No, there was 60 ballots, but there was
63.
only 30 votes cast.
No.
Yes, there was 30 people that voted for that position.
No.
Those were the cast votes.
According to the bylaws, if you read that whole thing, it says the majority vote of the members voting in person.
Right, and there was only 30 votes cast.
Voting in person, there are 63
There
people
were
voting in person.
63 votes in person.
No, there was only
Now,
30
whether-
votes for that position.
But the bylaws does not say per position. This is what we have had in the bylaws, and this is what has been for,
Right, so I'm not
Yes,
sure the
but-
definition is quite correct in that regard.
Okay, can I say there was 60 votes cast for president?
Okay,
Does that satisfy your answer?
right, there were 60 votes cast for president. How many were for secretary? There was 30 votes cast.
Well, we're basing it on the total votes cast, 60. Out of the
No, there
63
were
ballots.
63 ballots.
Lydia, do you have a comment?
Yes, I have a comment. If you continue on the bylaws, 10.1 says the rules contained in the current edition of Robert's Rules of Order, newly revised, shall govern the corporation in all cases to which they are applicable and in which they are not inconsistent with these bylaws and the special rules of order the corporation may adopt. Now, number one, we have never had numbered ballots.
yes, we have.
It was numbered last year.
Everything was numbered last year when I was the chair.
Okay, it's not called for.
There, okay,
The nomination committee decided to have numbered ballots.
Okay,
and those numbers were not attached to any individual person.
Not traceable.
Those were not traceable. They were just for the purpose of counting. Yes, the only purpose that they served.
and that was stated where? When did you decide? That was-
That wasn't my decision. That was the decision
Okay.
Of
of
the
the
chair,
chair.
Last
the
year,
nominating
you're
committee.
saying we had them numbered.
as
And we
the
have
chair,
copies of them?
They were
as
numbered
the
last
chair
year.
of last year's committee, that is the way we numbered the ballots. That was the way we ran the
Okay,
election. This year, Bob, the chair, chose to do it the same way.
Excuse me, are you part of the board?
No,
That's who I'm answering.
okay,
he's a liaison. Still, Robert's Rules does not call for that description of a majority.
We weren't operating under Robert's rule. We were operating. under
The
nomination
bylaws
committee.
operate under Robert's Rules.
We were operating under whatever section there,
Section
8.2.
Yes.
The bylaws is the way it was stated.
Section 8.2. Okay, let's go back to
Section
section
10.1. That's been in our bylaws historically.
7.1 had nothing to do with.
10.1.
Let's go back. Let's go back in order.
8.2 is what was referred to.
Yes, because that whole section regarding committees and 8.2 refers to the nominating committee
Yes,
and how we ran, how Bob ran the nominating committee,
okay.
using what it says in 8.2.
Under the same rules that the entire bylaws are under, which is Robert's rules.
So Lydia, do you have a reference in Robert's rules as to what happens in a?
There
Write-in.
is no write-in. The way it was, how did they word it? The problem is that when you have a paid member in good standing and you have a write-in candidate, they have to be counted, and the most votes is who gets the place, gets the position.
Does it say that in Robert's rules somewhere?
In Robert's rules, it doesn't, nobody has defined what a write-in candidate versus what do you call it? A
Nominated.
candidate
Nominate.
that was nominated. Go to the internet and read all the different things, all the different opinions that are out there. Someone that got 25 votes, that's almost as much as everybody else got for officers.
I see, I guess I think that's a problem with the bylaws.
Can we take a 5-minute break, please? I have something to look up related to this discussion. Okay. We're gonna take just a little bit of a break. Put that on pause, please. Yes. Recording, just put it pause. Yeah, I was looking for it. There you go. Okay. Meeting is back in order, please. Our discussion was related to what we had discussed last month, related to the balance.
You want to board?
Give it to me.
Just one of our last questions. That's good.
Meeting is back in order, please. Okay. In last month's meeting, we did discuss quite extensively the fact that we had an open position and what to do about it. Under 8C at the very bottom page, write-in must also receive a majority to win. There is a possibility of a write-in for every position. There is a question regarding our mushrooms being interested. The deadline for nomination was November 6th. Ron chose not to nominate himself, not to run. There is no campaigning in the voting area. We cannot promote a write-in. If someone decides to write in a name, they can write in a name. That, I believe, is the rule here. The problem is, Ron, that we have agreed that it's not that you didn't receive most of the votes. You did receive most of the votes. However, you were not an official candidate. You did solicit in the area for votes. I think that's unethical. But I'm going to table this position until next month when I become the 2023 president, and I will fill that open position. You may be the candidate, and someone else may be the candidate, but that is my position. I am going to table this until next month, and now I am going to accept the position of the nominating committee. They have the rule of the day, and so they are going to they are presenting their board positions.
I have a point of order. That's mentioned my name, so I have that right.
Okay.
Point of order is there's nothing unethical for what I did. If you go to any polling place, be it for any government office or anything else, there's a place where you have to stay so far away from the voting itself that you can do your campaign. That's exactly what I did. I was nowhere near the tables where the ballots were distributed, nor was I nowhere near the auditorium where ballots were cast. I was out in the greeting area doing my campaign, which is totally proper, not unethical.
Okay, thank you. Lydia,
I would like to object to that because Robert's rules and the state of Florida statute 617 do not specifically say that a write-in candidate is going to be denied.
I'm not
That's what
denying,
a write-in
I'm not
candidate
denying, I'm
is.
saying that I'm holding
Okay,
the position open until January.
okay. I'm going to go to the Department of Business Regulations in
Okay.
Florida, who handles discussions with problems according to the statute 617,
Okay,
and we'll get a ruling from them.
okay. Very good. Sandy,
As
Would
an
you like to-
observer here, and like Debbie, having worked with nonprofits for years and years and years. But I believe I heard you all read that in the last meeting,
last meeting,
you had made a ruling,
in the last
and that
meeting,
was the board, I take it, this was at the board meeting when that
I
ruling was
objected to the
made?
minutes.
Okay, but was it carried by the majority
yes,
in that meeting? Then I think when you do research this, the Internal Revenue Service also has a report on those type positions with nonprofits. Are you an accountant also, Debbie?
No,
There's a ruling with the Internal Revenue Service on nonprofits, but I believe if you had a meeting and that was the decision carried by the majority, then that is part of your minutes. That is part of the understanding of the board at the time that was here. And I believe you'll find that that can be the rule, and it doesn't matter under whether it's Robert's rules or what your policies are.
And we
And I
have,
can research that too. I still have
Okay.
a couple of friends who work with nonprofits and.
okay, yes, thank you.
and we
Appreciate
have
that.
a Zoom meeting. And at that meeting, Gary Skilcorn said 2 votes carry the,
And
carry.
the discussion continued on past that.
Yes.
Yes, it
The
did.
discussion,
There was
discussion,
no decision.
excuse me. The discussion continued on past that. And what is in the minutes here states there's, you can read it, you can
I
read it.
objected to those minutes because they're not accurate. Pull up the Zoom and listen to it.
Rose,
I sat for an hour and a half with my tape on as I was typing up the minutes. Gary's recommending 2 votes wins was part of the discussion.
Yes,
And at that point, I kept objecting because of what is in the bylaws and what we had written. We ended up with moving on after that discussion. And what is written on here is what we had decided. That there was no campaigning in the voting area. And
that didn't apply to the
the
subject matter.
majority vote of the members voting in person. It says nothing about her position. It says voting for voting. That is the way the nomination committee took it and proceeded and ran the voting. I just lost my train of thought.
That's how we went with it. The nomination committee considered what was going on. And we voted. It was a unanimous vote to accept what we decided. We submitted like we did.
and your committee consists of what, 5? people?
Donna wasn't there. There was no one. But 4 out of the 4 voted in the affirmative.
Thank you. Fran, you had a comment.
Yeah, I think if you read the bylaw literally, we have a problem. But I don't think most of the members of the board understood that. I mean, based on the conversation at the last meeting, I mean, everybody thought you get 2 or 3 or 4 votes and those are the only votes cast, you win the position. But I also understand that that bylaw is a problem.
So I think it's worth putting aside for now and putting it, come on in. And putting it into our decision in January, my decision in January. It would be an appointed position for January. Lydia,
I think we're still on the nominating committee. How many
Well-
votes were cast?
63.
It's on the report.
The report you received, you should be able to read all that.
Where does it say 63? I
it's very
didn't see
tough,
it.
I think.
The third paragraph under ballots.
63 were distributed. Okay. The 2 that were disqualified because the number was torn off. Why were they disqualified?
Because the ballot was mangled. It wasn't in its original condition.
And we have no idea who those votes were from.
I was one of them
Oh, okay, well,
Well, why did you tear it off then?
because they're not supposed to be numbered. And we'll cover that when you rewrite the bylaws.
But they were numbered last year
Yes,
and it was all accepted. We were all voted on and the club accepted that.
Mhm.
So we kind of set up a precedent. Okay, I'll find out.
I don't believe there's any ruling against that. I do protest against any numbered ballots that are tied back to
I
a
mean,
specific entry. But having them numbered is, it's basically a really easy way to make sure you've got the count right
Yes. it is.
and that you're not missing any ballots and that everything is covered. So I think that's a very good approach to have them as numbered, but they should never have any tie back to an individual. And there shouldn't be any way in the ballot itself to determine who is submitting that either.
In hindsight, I got to give it nice to have had that stated so that, maybe Lydia wouldn't have,
It would have been an
she
issue.
wouldn't have changed her, ripped off her number. She knew it wasn't tied back to her.
Well, she voted last year. She saw the number on the ballot.
I did not vote last year.
You weren't at the election last year?
I did not vote.
We
Last
can't,
year.
we can't tell that.
No, well, that,
Okay. Okay, any further discussion? Okay, that item is, then will be, my responsibility in January to fill that position.
May I be excused? I got a meeting. I got to go to.
Sure, thank you very much. Okay.
Fine, Joe. I.
Tony, thank you for coming. You missed all the excitement, but thank you for coming.
Sorry, but had other.
No, I understand that, and sorry for your loss. Okay, we are at
unfinished business.
unfinished business, Zoom instructions for teachers.
Oh, yeah. We
Yeah,
talked about this a little bit, once, I sent an email to Rose, I think about. Basically, we have one account, we have, one username, one password. For any new instructors, we probably are gonna have to give them a hand. If they're gonna use that account, how to get in and set up a schedule meeting. So it's gonna have to be some sort of interaction with the new instructor to show them how to get in there and do that.
okay, I also had an issue on Tuesday, not being able to get into the instructor account for my meeting. So, we need, and today I didn't have a problem going directly into here and pulling up the board meeting, but I had one I couldn't even find my Tuesday meeting at all, and it's it should be a recurring meeting, and so I will have to get with you to determine either how to correct it or how to just build a new and reassign it and publish a new link. And that may be the easiest thing to do, but if someone already has it on their calendar, then they'd have to change their calendar.
Meeting,
Okay. But I had 5 people that weren't able to get in the other day. At least those are the only ones I heard from.
Let me check in. Yeah, the recurring meeting used to be there and stuff. I don't know why it would gone away. But Zoom does some interesting things.
It does, and
They change it on a weekly basis. One
yeah,
of the things is, one of the part of the problems is, if you haven't been in there on a particular device in a certain period of time, then it makes you go through the process of verification.
two-factor
Right, so you have to go into the Zoom Gmail account to get that verification. But it's the same Gmail account with the same user password, so anybody that has
That
access
should be okay.
should be
then.
okay to go on and do it.
Yeah,
Say that again.
So what happens is, over time, if there's a new device, let's say somebody wants to
Yeah,
go.
get a
back
new
from
computer.
a computer. Right, what it does is it wants to do a verification. The way it does the verification, it sends an email through the Zoom Gmail account. So whoever's trying to get in with that device has to go into the Gmail account, and it's the same username as our Zoom account and same password. So you go to the Gmail, you get the verification, and you say, okay, this device is okay.
except for the fact that if you have never signed into that Gmail account on the device, on another device that you're trying to verify it from, then you've got a two-level,
Nobody knows. Yes.
two-factor authentication, and you may get stoned, blocked
Could
out,
be, yeah.
which I think is the problem I had because I hadn't used my computer to sign into that
Gmail
new
account.
Zoom Gmail account. I used a different one. And so, okay. We also have issues, I understand, with the Military Heritage Museum. So those need to be diagnosed and tested, and Fran, you are working with Mark on that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
If you would go over and would do that, I appreciate it, so that when we get back to doing Zoom on the general meetings in May or whenever, we'll have a solution for it.
And Mark,
So we have a few months to do that, but let's make sure. we get it done.
you're aware that we're not gonna Zoom for a while.
Right, I read the minutes, I see it got
Yeah.
voted against doing Zoom for a while, and that's fine, but I'd love to get back to it, I don't wanna give up on it.
No, I don't want to give up on it either, but I think we
I talked to Dennis, they've changed the audio system there again, so it's more complicated now.
Well-
So you gotta look at that.
we might be able to use that change to our advantage though, because what's happening is that is it the county commissioners that are meeting there?
Yes.
County commissioners are meeting there now. And so they have upgraded the museum's sound system and video system. So and they're having the same issues that we did. So we should be able to piggyback on their findings and maybe help each other.
Can I
Yes.
interject something here? I went to a meeting at the Quantic Gordon Library that was brought in, that was sponsored by the Charlotte County government. And I wanted to say, I talked to the Geekazoid guy that set up the whole thing, and it was just like ours pretty much. And I told him that we were having problems. And what did he suggest? And he told me that he was using Microsoft
Teams.
And
As opposed to
once
Zoom.
they did that, everything fell into place.
Why don't we
So
investigate that
I
then?
just want to let you know that I heard that bit of information, and since the county has wiggled around in that museum, this might be a good time to start thinking about a change there, because if we can't communicate, we can't be a club.
That's right. That's okay.
Okay, so I'm
We
sorry.
will
Just bring
investigate
that.
Teams. Did we do that, please?
Yep.
And if we do that, then could you put together a write-up as to how, maybe a little class, maybe one of our 2-hour session classes that we do, in here to train people
On Teams,
on teams.
here we go.
The instructors first and then the general public. Okay, great, thank you. That would be wonderful. Okay. Exhibit B county reports.
The exhibit B county report. I noted last month that we needed for the county a different form with the certificate of liability. I've since received that, sent it on to Darla. It is done for the year.
Okay. So does that include that portion that's not the.
That's got nothing to do with that.
Okay, this is separate. I still have to do this. Okay. But I have to have that before the end of January.
Mhm. The next time this will come up, will be in November of
Okay.
2022. Yeah.
Okay. Monthly meeting, Debbie, you had
Yeah,
comments on that?
you know, there's just so many details that have to happen for a members monthly meeting. I just thought if it was a standing agenda item that we quickly went around to say, oh, you know, yeah, we got the computer ready, yeah, we've got the volunteer certificate and the gift card and, you know, so it would go smoother.
Right,
I just,
okay, we do have the programs set up. Gary has given us that. So, let's talk about the other portions. We have the favorite. Do you have a favorite identified for
Yeah.
January? Want to share that?
It's a worldwide connection to get everybody, by city and countries. The, five, police,
Scanner.
the
Oh, it's a
scanners.
police scanner
police
worldwide.
scanner worldwide.
Okay. Okay. Sounds interesting. And volunteer of the month, I believe I have that. I will make sure that that is included.
I need the name so I can.
I
write
will
the
do
check.
that. And do we have a computer set up for January?
Yes,
Will it be a laptop or a desktop?
laptop.
Okay. And then what do you have first?
Oh, the January will be installation of the new board. That would have to be the first, one of the very first things after the Pledge of Allegiance and welcome to the new people.
Okay.
And, but to put a name with that Bob will do the installing. Okay, or whoever he assigns from the committee.
Okay, let's see, what else do we need? Yes,
and then the person that's gonna organize. the
organize
group,
everything,
Make sure we've got 4 people out front helping.
okay. And I will take care of that. I have to ask first before I dump somebody in there.
Good idea.
I have a question, Mary.
Yes.
Since I'm now on the board, you know, I've been out at the raffle table,
Right.
whatever else. Does that take that job away from me? Since I'm a board member or
No,
can
it
I
does
still?
not. No, it does not. It,
No, I just wondered if I could. You
Yeah,
know,
it's a please keep and,
I like it out there. I like
Okay.
to see
yeah, that's
it combined, so. If you don't mind, throw my name out there for wherever you want me.
So, okay, my thought was that you would take over the entire thing. Are you willing to do that? Well, just that, making sure that everything's set up, that we have the leaders, that we have the people necessary. And that you can hold any job you want out front, which is,
I will try, let's say it that way.
Okay.
Yes, I would be glad
Okay.
to.
if you have anyone else to suggest, please suggest. So I want to make sure that the people that are put into the slots are ones that really want to do that job and that will take it over. But yes, I had you in mind for that, but I didn't. And you jumped right in, so I'm not.
So that means setting up the tables and
Right.
chairs and, okay, Devin, you'll have to show me where stuff is.
Yeah.
And all the
Keeping
stuff is in
track of
that
the
box over
money and.
there.
Oh, okay.
So, yes, we can coordinate that outside of this meeting, but, yeah.
Okay.
that
No,
would be
I just
great.
wondered, but I do like it out there
Good.
and I enjoyed it tremendously.
Okay, and we're gonna be hitting that, agenda just in a couple of minutes, so, we'll,
And just why, I was just, you've been great, Maureen's been great, so thank you both so much.
You're welcome.
okay. I'm not sure, okay, do we have anything else related to that? Because I think the other things are all the statistics, and I need to get
Yeah.
those here in the office. And,
Yeah, it's just, you know,
but, okay, so related to the, Gary? What?
There we
Gary,
go.
you hear me?
There you go.
Okay.
According to the, you have the presentations for January and February. But it would be a good idea to have, I would like to have those as early as I can to be able to pull into the presentation, because what I do usually is put another placeholder in there with the click to the actual presentation so that it can start from there, and then we continue on with the meeting after. And if I don't get that until the night of, then it really puts me behind the.
Now the title for that has been in the bites, so that goes in. Debbie, I think in some way promulgates that to the bites. But as far as
Debbie
having,
doesn't. No, Debbie doesn't.
well, was past tense. Oh, let me just say it differently. When Debbie publicized at various instruments, communicate to
Oh,
the public.
gotcha. In
She
next
put
door and other places.
Yeah, exactly. She put both the current one and then the following one on. You're after not the title, but the specific link. If it's a link, then
Yes.
you want that. Okay.
And,
And I guess I've been trying to make sure that Mark has that as well too.
yeah, the problem has been that if I only have a link, then we lose the internet, then we don't have the presentation. So I need to actually have the physical video, and you have the way of copying that video.
Yeah, I'll put it up on
You can put it on a shared drive or
right,
something,
and then you can download it.
that'll be fine, but
I'll send that link.
but doing an internet link to it,
Yeah,
that,
bad idea during.
yeah, because if we have any kind of internet issues in the auditorium, that has created a problem.
Like we had last.
Yeah, and that's been part of our Zoom issue too. Zoom, for some reason, takes an awful lot of resources. You notice that? I mean, you can pull up a YouTube video and go forever. You pull up Zoom and try to do something else, and it takes 90% of your resources on, some computers, and it just bogs everything down.
Okay. I guess what I'm interpreting is that if it's going to be a link type presentation, you would like it several days in advance to have it
Absolutely.
so that you can have it available without having to rely on the internet during the course of the meeting, correct?
I need to have the actual physical
Download it.
audio, excuse me, a video file embedded into the presentation.
Right, okay.
Just a link. Great. Okay. Do we have anything else to discuss on that? Okay, reminder, D is reminder 22 expenses sent to Lydia. You have all that, correct, Lydia? So we did, we'll take
Yeah,
this
the
off.
works is closed. Yes.
We
I'll
close
close
this
it out.
now. Okay, so this goes away. And then table for next year. We have discussed different terms of offices for the board. Rather than everything being absolute calendar, doing 2-year terms or alternating terms or something. So that the board rotates as opposed to every year a fresh new board comes in. Potential absolute fresh new board comes in. So we're tabling that at least until 2023, and it may eventually go away. We're tabling the getting better descriptions of the jobs for the director positions. And we're tabling anything relating to electronic voting options. Which that I think would be very difficult for us to monitor and verify. The other thing we have on the unfinished business is the open slot for secretary. And that's on my agenda for January. After I become 2023 president. Okay. New business, the office lease. You have done everything that you need to do. I just need to update that one line and get that to Darla and
Yes.
you. I'll get it to you first.
And to me,
Okay.
at this point, you in connection with Darla, because we have to give her, fill in
Right.
the new names.
Right.
And then, once that's done, to be able to get a copy of that up into the club.
Right, exactly. So as soon as I get this done, I will get that to you and then into the cloud and then to Darla. Oh, you've got it on, you've got the secretary on this. That's fine.
But that, because it
January.
is muted. So that one's basically taken care of.
Okay,
Next one.
calendar items. Let's go to
January to
Those are
installation.
calendar items. And I had. Yeah, I had one thing I was gonna change on here. And then I saw that it was actually on here earlier month. There's a deadline for the nominating committee. It was on September.
It says.
But
very
July.
least,
Yeah, but July is the actual date that is the date that it
That's the
should be,
recommend.
right?
And again, reading the way it's written in the bylaws, it says at the very. At
Yeah.
the, I forget how it's
It
stated.
just says that
Anyway,
it must be,
it must be no later than,
right,
but yes, having Ben chair and Bob. I don't know what you would say, I recommend that we,
well, we got it in
determine
July,
by
so
July.
that's,
Yes.
that's what I will shoot for. Would you add a comment though for September the 5th? The absolute deadline for appointing nominating chair. Other than that, I've reviewed the calendar and it looks good to me. The only we will have our November board meeting will be as it was this time in the 3rd. On the 15th of November, as opposed to conflicting with the holiday schedule. The the Thanksgiving holiday. We do not have a conflict, however, for the Christmas holiday, so the 29th, which will be after Christmas, will be our board meeting for December. Those are the only ones that I wanted to review and check. Does anyone have any comments or objections to those? Do you have any comments?
No, I have a question about the calendar for this year.
Yes,
The day before and after Christmas weekend and New Year's, I guess. What's the schedule in the office?
the schedule will be that we will be off, let's see, we'll be on Friday and Monday around Christmas. And we'll be off that Monday after New Year's.
So both days will be closed. The office will be
Correct.
closed. Friday, Monday, Christmas, and the Monday after New Year's.
That's correct. Yeah. And
I, a combination of notes here. When I put this together, I used what we did it in this last January. Only this time I added the dates that I thought the office would be closed, the major holidays and the Veterans Day. And
And
I
Memorial
want-
Day.
before taking a
Independence.
word draft off, if there are any other days that the office should be closed, or did I catch everything?
Let's put it this way, if anyone, would you please review this thoroughly, both boards? Would you please review this thoroughly, and if you see anything that, that you believe needs to be changed, could you get that to Rose and myself, by next Friday?
Well, and you'll confirm this at your first board meeting in
Right,
January. as
right.
well, but-
But some of these things occur.
So I
by-
can update
yeah.
it.
But if you could get the changes by next
Friday.
Friday, that'll give us plenty of time to discuss it and get it in here.
What date would that be?
Next Friday is,
Is that
today's
the
16th, so
23rd?
23rd.
What's that?
23rd.
23rd.
You have an extra copy?
I'm sorry.
You have an extra copy?
No, but I'll give
It
you mine.
was on your attachments that I sent you with the email as well,
You got six or seven attachments.
with the
Email.
minutes,
Last
for-
email.
with the agenda for today. You got an email from the CCC, GC secretary.
There were 6 other documents attached,
Okay.
so.
Okay, so
If you wanna make a copy of that before you leave, you'll give me that one back, so I have mine. Cause I have my notes on it.
I can give it like.
Okay, here. There you go. Let's see. Where are we?
Also with calendar, I need to jump into, this is kind of going. But, Yvette is recovering from surgery,
Yes.
and I had said I would do the bites for January. So I need, by Monday, anybody who's teaching, send me your January teaching, projections. Also, I will
Zoom
put
link.
on, and the Zoom link. Also, I will put on the calendar, the Monday after January. I will make sure that says office closed.
I have a comment related to the calendar. Some of the links in the calendar are, you can actually click it and go someplace, and others, you can't go anyplace. You have to copy and
I
paste,
will double
so
check.
make
that.
sure that all of them are clickable.
Okay, I will, yeah, before I send it to Harold. Cause I will need by. This is 23rd. Yeah, I've got a week and a half before I have to get it to Harold. But, whatever information people can get to me soon, the better.
I'll try to get that from you by next Friday. Also. Okay. Okay, the 2023 assignments. We have a number of things on here, and I'm going to, what I'd like for you to do, everyone on the new board, please. I would like for you to take a look at these jobs and see if there's anything that if there's anything particular that you would like to do, I would prefer to give you an assignment that you're going to enjoy or want, rather than saying, would you do this and why haven't you done it? So, but I'm going to ask Fran, you did the financial audit last year. Would you be willing to do that again?
Sure.
Okay, and do you need anyone else to work with you?
No, I think I can do it.
Okay, so I will go ahead and put your name in here. And, and it's, Rose has already said, Yvette has graciously, said that she would again do the Bites newsletter and the calendar. And Rose is going in for her, for January. Rose, Well, no, the new secretary will be responsible for the cloud storage. Education, we currently have myself, Rose, Lydia, George, and Mark as instructors. Anyone else who would like to be as an instructor, please think about it, even if it's only, one time a year, if you have a topic that you would like to discuss or to train people on. You have a special talent. I know that you have, you're a photographer and you have all kinds, there are all kinds of things that you could train people on with both manual and digital cameras and doing and editing videos and photos and so forth. That would be a wonderful topic to have on our calendar. So think about it.
Okay.
Fundraising, we haven't really been doing anything with that. County liaison. Grover has been our connection there, but member meeting prep. This is what we've been talking about. Mary Burns is going to be tentative in that position. If you take a look at that and talk with Debbie on all the requirements, and if there's anything related to that that you don't feel comfortable with, maybe we can separate it. But let's try to see if we can get everything done.
Then you want me to try and find 4 people or whatever?
Oh, yeah,
4
4 or 5 people that, and
all the same, I mean, month after month, or can they be different people?
they can be different people every month, but it would be better to have a standing group of people.
Right.
And especially you need people to set up tables and chairs. And those people need to be strong. So I would look to the men of the group and see if you can get some of the men to volunteer for that position. I know, a lot of us women can help you out too, but it some of those things are heavy, and so see if you can get someone who will do that, and you can delegate. Say, if you're not available, can you delegate? Pull in 1 or 2 other people, and it probably takes 2 people to set up a statement. What do you think? Reasonably,
Yes.
2 people.
Mm-hmm.
1 person is not really adequate. You gotta have 2 people, and 3 is even better.
Once they're set up, we gotta take them down.
And then you have to take them down. If you want them back.
Do what?
And then take them down at the end of the night
Right.
and then return the box and all that kind of stuff.
Right.
So,
Tried to help Debbie one night. She said, no, I'll do it. So I should have learned.
okay, so member meeting setup and member meeting prep, and part of that is our Zoom stuff, but right now, we're kind of in limbo for that, but we still have all the audio and video just for the theater, and you've been doing that, and along with Harold and Grover and Fran. So can I count on you guys again for that?
Does that sound good to you, Frank?
Yeah, I'll be there.
All right.
Okay, very good. So,
Not gonna be much different with or without Zoom, I don't think.
Not much.
no, not much. It's just a little less frustrating, but most of the things we still have to do, no matter whether it's Zoom or
Right,
not.
that's my point, yeah.
It's, yeah,
Just not turning Zoom on.
And not a bit of input out from the laptop.
We want to
Right.
record the session though.
and we can record the session via our own equipment. We're talking, okay, what is the status on the new camera?
I don't know anything about it.
Okay. Harold was working on that, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so we'll wait for Harold on that.
You're talking about a new camera that belongs to the club or to the.
Yeah, for the club. That we do our own recordings.
I mean, he's been using a camera in the theater, that I think he bought, I'm not sure the club, but.
I don't think we ordered a new one.
No, we don't have a new one yet, so let's work on, Tina, that would be a good thing for you to advise on what camera equipment would be good to use,
Oh, wow.
okay? So, just keep her in mind when you're thinking about the camera equipment. She would have, Okay, so we've got the nominating committee that'll be
That'll be
right
July.
here. Office management, okay, we're gonna have to, have to talk to Grover on that.
Wait a minute,
Procedure, okay,
did you pass membership? At the bottom,
membership, okay, yes,
membership, Linda Corrick resigned.
Okay, so we have for the input, we have a to be determined.
I am thinking of tentatively trying to learn the system
Okay, so you,
from Harold.
are you going to volunteer to put yourself in that
I'm
position?
going to try
Okay, I'll put you down as tentative then.
replacing Linda for the,
Okay, and that makes sense because you and Harold do the deposits and stuff.
Correct.
So that would help consolidate that a little bit. Okay, thank
okay,
you.
name tags. Would be the
Oh,
next one.
name tags. How are those done now?
Harold,
Those are all done via the membership report, correct?
I
And,
do not know.
yes,
okay.
I did them before George and I went on vacation. And then I gave Harold all the equipment back.
Okay,
There's a little dynamo printer thing with rollers on them. At least what happened when I was working on it was as soon as the new membership list came out, Harold prints that like the first of every month. I got a copy of that and with a list of all the new people for the month. And then I typed up all of the names, got the cards ready, brought them in here. And whoever was at the desk that day would put them in the card box for people to pick up or to take to the member meeting to hand them out there. Very easy job. Is just a matter of communication of who are the new people who have renewed, what is their expiration date to put that on there.
okay.
Yeah, the machine, I guess, I don't know, do you know how many machines he got, Lydia, at one point?
We're down to one or two.
Oh, okay, one or two
I didn't
little
know we had one.
dynamo thing. Yeah, there, for a while, there were, I thought three or
When we,
four of them.
there were more than that, but when they got moved to storage, they disappeared.
Oh, okay. Well,
They're
I
not
have,
in storage.
I brought, and I don't have it anymore because I brought it back to Harold mine.
Right, his was broken, so.
So, we may eventually have to look for a new way of doing that, but, it worked, it was pretty slick and worked really easy. So it's just, communication and timeliness of getting names. Because first, the renewal or new member form has to be filled in with the money coming in. That's when Linda would document it. And then I would get a list of all the new people or all the renewals. Sometimes it took 2 to 3 weeks difference by the time people paid and I actually got the
Yeah.
names in to get cards in. But ideally, I would recommend that as people renew or pay, that whoever, whatever the form is or the machine, that whoever's that the ladies at the desk or gentlemen at the desk do them right away.
I would think that we would have it sitting right here.
They're a piece
And
of
that would
cake.
be immediate.
Yeah, that's the way it should.
Label, I mean.
That's what I recommend.
I
But
was thinking that whole thing all through the discussion, that that's where it should be.
Yeah.
Should be right here and
yes,
be done.
in the office.
Because if you don't do it that way, then people walk out of here and they say, well, I know I paid, I know I'm a member,
Yeah.
but
Yeah,
I don't have a card.
right.
And they come in here and they say, I don't have a card,
Or they forget
and we don't have it in there yet because it isn't printed
because
yet.
I haven't brought it back. Right.
So, okay, let's,
That's part of the office manager process.
right,
That it
which
could
is
be.
kind of what's next. On the procedures manual, we need to review the procedures manual, make sure it's up to date, make sure it's indexed and everybody can find how to do a particular job, because there's so many things that happen at the front desk. It's not just greeting people, it's not just bringing in new members, it's not just bringing in the computers and making sure that they're logged and then returned. But we need to have all of those procedures, page by page by page, each one of those individual jobs, and have them cataloged. I know they're kind of there, but some of the descriptions are one-liners. That doesn't help anyone.
Right.
And several of you have worked in the office before and know how many different steps there are to go through that. We need people that are that have done the job before, that are familiar with it, to be able to review those procedures and to make sure that they're up to date. So I'm looking for a candidate for doing that.
And it's wider than just the office.
It's wider than just the office.
There's a 1-page document up in that folder that says procedures. I know there's a volunteer manual somewhere. At least I was aware of the fact that it had gotten put together. I don't know if there are any other procedure manuals anywhere, but you've got the office, you've got the
repair, the
recycle area.
You've got the technical support, which, you know, how do you do this particular thing?
It'll be a long process.
Yes, and I know there's some things that, someone came in the other day and they needed to do something that I've done dozens of times, but I haven't done it in a year and a half. So I forgot. And I said, because I can't remember how to do this thing, I'm going to put it in a drawer and make sure that someone who has done it recently can do it. So those are the things. I want to have all of those procedures, not just what you said, not just the front desk procedures, but the back room procedures, all the technical procedures, all the Zoom things. All of those should go into the manual in different sections and be indexed in the Bob.
You include the nomination guidelines also in there?
Nomination guidelines also. Well,
Any
yeah.
committee,
If you,
Better late than never.
and since you have just held that position, if you could put all of your thoughts together and put up a write-up of what your recommendations are. Okay, put your recommendations together and that will go into the manual also. So if anyone wants to volunteer for one or more of those tasks, I mean, because that probably is a task that's going to take several people. Well, you're going to have input from maybe 10 people, 10 or 12 people, and you're going to have 2 or 3 people that have to coordinate it. But that's going to be a very big job. And I can't see what I'm saying. Programs, Gary, you have assumed that again, correct?
I'm sorry, say that again.
Programs, you have assumed that position again?
One more time. I didn't hear one more time.
Programs.
Oh,
Programs.
yes, programs, yes.
Okay.
I assume that. Yes, please.
And publicity and marketing, that has been Debbie. Debbie, are you willing to,
No, I have
No,
other jobs
okay.
this year.
so we need someone to take over. Okay. We have Kinga. Kinga
On publicity.
on publicity, marketing. Making sure we get our message out. Refurbishing and repair, we have Lydia. And Lydia, I'd like to know who else works in that area with you? So that I have,
The refurbishing,
yeah,
no one right now. Ron Dupree just died. No,
Vanessa's not working in there?
she's in tear down. Not,
Okay,
she's not in refurbishing.
well,
repair.
okay, I guess I'm asking for anything that happens to be behind that wall.
Right now, we have Vanessa and Jerry Allen.
what's Jerry's lesson?
Allen, I
Alan,
think, I'd have to look. And Vanessa begins with a K.
It's Kohler.
Okay, that's Tierney.
And the other people have not returned,
Okay.
but they're not in refurbishing. There's a difference.
Okay. Scholarships is Rose and Debbie, you're working with her on that? Special events planning, this is kind of a, if something comes up, and we had a few things that we participated in last year, some of them were, well,
It's the Veterans Parade.
yes, Veterans Parade, but there wasn't really the kind of response back that we thought we would get. Matter of fact, there wasn't much participation. When we went to the event expecting to see a whole bunch of people set up in tents. There were the coordinators for the whole event and us. So not something we want to spend money on again. But there are some things that I think will be worth our while, but that one was not. Sunshine. Marine is retiring from that position, so we'll need someone to take over the position for Sunshine, sending out template cards and get well messages, unless Marine wants to continue in that as a non-board member.
I could do that.
Okay, temporarily, you'll at least do that, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Technical support management. Our providing technical support. We have Harold, Fran, myself. George has been out of the picture for a while, but you can do some on at home, correct?
Yeah, and
Okay,
possibly coming in here.
great. We'd love to have you back.
We'll see.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah, we miss you. We need you back.
we need help.
And we need to get some more volunteers too. And you're in that too. So, Fran, excuse me, Mark needs to be added to that. And I think we need a couple more people that can fill in because we're getting busy. When I'm in here, I know that we have a lot of walk-in now. People that aren't bringing it just to drop off, they're bringing it in for one-on-one. And there's not been a day that I've been in here. No, there's been one day in the last however many months that we weren't really busy. But usually I'm busy all the entire day. With
Usually get a couple walks.
yeah.
Snowbird with that.
Yeah, so I've gotten 6 or 7 in one day. So, okay, and webmaster is Harold Nixon. I'd like to be able to get someone else out to work with Harold on that. Maybe we can come up with some ideas on a little refresh on our web page. And we have some redundancy in the web page. I'd like to get rid of those redundancies. We don't need to have the download for Macro and Reflect multiple times on the list. And so if we could better combine those things. Down at the bottom, yes,
We realize that Macrim is
I know, I've got 5 or 6 pages here that says they're retiring. Yeah,
January 1st, 24.
24, okay. I don't, yeah. I have noticed on Macrium that the people that have Office of, no, Windows 11 and have the newest version of Macrium, there's a new interface, and they don't have the same functionality that was on the version that I'm using. I have, it keeps asking me to upgrade mine. I have not upgraded mine to the new one because I've seen people that have come in here and have not been able to do some of the things I can do with Macrium. So there is a little caution there, and I'm not sure whether that new version will be updated to include the functions that we now have. It's something in the interface that's awkward, or it bypasses or something. But it may just be the version that I have that's being retired, and the version that they've updated to is continuing. But right now, it doesn't have something that I have in mind that makes it easier for me to use. If that makes any sense. The bottom of the page just includes some of the topics that we've discussed on educational projects, education topics and program topics, technology topics. This is just a catch-all list. Anything that you would like to add to that you think is missing, that you think needs clarity, please let us know, and we'll add that to this list. And then if you could get me, please tell me anything that you're interested in doing that's on this assignments list that I can add your name to for the coming year. If you could get that to me, say a week before next board meeting, I would really appreciate it. Okay. Do we have anything else to discuss?
Did you finish? I think I have.
Let me see. Yes.
Oh, I know what I was looking at.
Oh, you have, oh, no, scholarship committee.
That's what I just saw.
Committee chair.
Oh. Well, the scholarship committee,
It's on this.
Rose is on there now, but Debbie is assisting, and you may be taking over, correct?
Yes. But for
But for
2024,
2023, it is Rose,
with Debbie as.
with Debbie as assistant. And hopefully 2024, Debbie will take that over.
That's the plan.
Okay.
And if I may, with that committee, because Sherry pulled out. December right now is when the initial contact with the high schools is supposed to be happening. And so I volunteered, since it's like second nature to me from what I did, to do it for this year. I know that I will not be here for 3 months in 2024, which is why I asked Debbie to work. She generously said yes to work with me, and then I will hand it all over to her for the following year.
Good fit.
She looks confused.
She shouldn't be.
Just
She'll do a
listen
wonderful job.
closely, because you get on another committee unless you listen.
Yeah. As she's already found out. Okay, very good. Any more comments? Okay, our next meeting will be January the 27th at 2:00 in this room. And I thank everyone for coming. And we are, if you don't have any more questions or comments, we are adjourned. Okay.
Goodbye, Gary.